Hey y'all, I'm Shaloncè and welcome to Sip and Slay with Shaloncè, where we live, lash, and libate through real beauty conversations. All right, this one is for the people who swear they're educated. The ones who say, I've been doing this a long time. I'm licensed. I've been doing this for years. I teach people. Well, that's cool. But today we're talking about the difference between having permission and having authority. Because the industry is loud right now. So today we're sipping on the Velvet Whisper. The flavor vibe is warm because yes, she's hot. She doesn't rush. She doesn't explain herself. This drink is confidence without noise. And this is how we bring her together. As always, everything you need is in the drink essential list for phase 3. Tonight, we are making the Velvet Whisper. Something very special about this is that this is a heated spice citrus cocktail. Right, let's get to the instructions. You're going to add 3/4 ounce of fresh orange juice, a 1/2 ounce of prickly pear syrup, a 1/2 ounce of honey syrup to a small saucepan. You will warm gently on low heat. Do not boil. We want to keep it at a low temperature. Once you see a little bit of steam come from the pot, go ahead and remove it from the heat. You will then stir in 1/4 ounce of fresh lemon juice to brighten up the citrus notes. Then you will stir in 2 ounces of whiskey. Now this is optional, but I think it adds a lot of depth. Add a tiny pinch of smoked salt and then pour into a heat-safe mug or a lowball glass. The flavor identity is a warm honey, soft citrus, steady whiskey heat with just enough brightness to keep the moment sharp. It's grounded, it's quiet, it's controlled. Velvet Whisper. She doesn't raise her voice, she lowers the room. Enjoy. Now let's start here, and I need to be very clear, so I need you to hear me say a license is the bare minimum. License means the state said that you can operate. It does not mean you're skilled. It does not mean you're qualified. It does not mean you're safe. Emotional regulation is something that is not taught, or the ability to perform consistently. And on the flip side, someone can be very, very talented, still be underdeveloped, undereducated, and very, very reckless. Now, skill does not excuse ignorance. And liking someone's work does not mean you should learn from them. Now let's talk about performers versus creators. Performers know the steps, creators know the structure. Performers panic when something goes wrong. Creators adjust because they understand the why. That's the difference between someone who actually learned something. And if you don't understand the foundation, then you don't understand how to lead, which also will confuse you when conditions change. So this is why education matters. Not for applause, not for clout, but for control. Now let's get uncomfortable because this is where the bleeding starts. Everybody thinks they're an educator. Posting is not educating. Talking is not teaching. Repeating is not developing if you don't understand. And some of the things you need to understand are curriculum, progression, risk, delivery, and retention. If you don't have that down, then you don't have being an educator down. You are not an educator at all. You are a content creator, and there's nothing wrong with that until you start calling yourself something that you are not. And you start putting other people at risk, because teaching requires responsibility. It requires knowing what comes next, not just what looks good right now. And this is where CEUs come in, because this is the part that people love to skip. See, licenses will get you in the room, but CEUs are the real flex. CEUs do 2 things at the same time. They protect you legally because they keep you in compliance. And then the other thing they do is they elevate you professionally, because it shows that you are committed and serious about the mastery of your profession. CEUs say, I'm not done learning. I don't rely on old information. I respect this craft enough to keep on studying it. So people who avoid continuing education really say things like, I already know this. I've been doing this. I don't need to read that. And those are the people who are always panicking when something goes wrong, or they're just pulling it out their ass and pretending like they know what to do. But here's the truth. Education makes leaders calm, and educated leaders don't argue online. They don't get loud when things get challenging. They don't fold under pressure. They enforce standards without emotion because they understand what they are enforcing. Leadership without education is loud and fragile. Education creates a quiet sense of authority, and it's what separates professionals from performers. It's not about popularity, it's not about platforms or opinions, it's about understanding. So, here's the toast to the artists who stop confusing permission with mastery, to the professionals who go beyond just the minimum of having a license, and to the leaders who respect their craft enough to keep learning and obtain those CEUs, even when no one's clapping for them. Now, on the next episode, we are stepping into authority without apology because leadership doesn't beg and standards don't need permission. So make sure you catch Sip and Slay on Instagram Live, TikTok, and catch us on the YouTube replay. Sip and Slay, babe.